Hi, welcome to Advanced Solutions Summer Reader Training Session. Today's session is going to cover managing Summer Reader as a staff member, Class 201. The next few topics in this recording are staff side patron registration, managing patron information, and then we're going to talk about managing reviews and comments. Within these topics, we're going to talk about how to actually do those actions as a staff member. Let's begin by talking about how to register a patron from the staff side. Like I said at the beginning when we were talking about managed programs, there are multiple ways to do the same action. The first way of registering a patron would be to choose your program and then select Register Patron. But if you remember from the overview under Manage Programs, we could also select the magnifying glass that takes us to the same screen. So by selecting the magnifying glass to the appropriate program, we get to the same screen where we can register a patron for that program. I'm going to go ahead and select Register Patron. This is the same program that we were looking at when we were registering on the patron side. The same information is going to be displayed. So we have where you can key in the first name, the last name, the patron goal, and then you could also put in notes. Now remember, this particular program was set up for quick registration, where it's only asking for the key elements for registration. If you want to do a full registration, just like we did on the patron side, you would open up those additional fields by clicking on that gray toolbar. From here, you would put in the patron's username. Then you would put in the password, and then you would confirm the password, put in the first name. You would just continue down the list, finishing the registration. As we discussed at the beginning when we were looking at the patron side, the fields that are marked with an asterisk, those are required fields. You also have where you can have custom fields, and you could populate those for your patrons, just like we did on the patron side. So for school name, I chose Franklin Central, and then we have the teacher as Mrs. Sego. Another custom field that we have in this particular program is favorite color, and then they could type in what their favorite color is. We also have the option to add information to the patron's Facebook. By selecting yes, it's obviously going to go out and try to show that this patron is registering on Facebook. We would have to log in to their Facebook site. If you select yes, you could just choose the option of skipping for now and allow the patron when they log in to post it to their Facebook site. Then you would put in their own patron goal. You would ask the patron what their goals are for this program. And I'm going to say Snow White is going to read 10 hours worth of books. And then we could put in a note about the patron. Once we are done, we can select Save, but I want to go over the other fields that you have here that the patron would not have. You will have the option to check for duplicates. If we go based on the information that we have already populated, such as Snow White, the library card, and then the username, and select Go, it's going to show that there are no records, meaning I'm not duplicating this record, which is a good thing. We don't want our patrons to have multiple registrations. You can also choose Signed Up Before. If they have signed up for previous programs, we can do a search for that patron in the system and bring them in and register them for this particular program. Once you're done, you could choose Save or Save and go into Logging. If I choose Save Logging, it's going to show that the username was S. White, the library card, and the password. I select OK, and now I'm ready to log for this patron. Obviously, we're going to talk about logging for a patron in just a few moments. So let's go back to Manage Programs. Let's take another look at registering for another patron. So this time, let's go under Book Bugs. and we're going to register a patron. The information here is pretty much the same, but as you see, there is no password requirement. This means that once the patron gives you the information, as a staff member, you would populate all the required information, select Save, and you will be the only one that's able to access that information, you, the library. The patron will no longer have access to any of the registration information because it's not password protected. Now, you may be asking, there's a new button called Recall. The Recall button will bring up the last patron that you registered in your system, the basic information, such as the last name and the library card, for you to quickly just add the additional information. Because in this recording, we're talking about the basics, we're going to talk about adding a member and then also adding groups to your system for registration in a totally separate recording. Make sure you look on the wiki for those two separate sessions.